The gang were still in the Nethy Bridge Hotel in central Scotland on the night of Burns Night. It was just after dinner involving Shrek and Stuart Hope in an unfortunate incident, while they had been given a tongue lashing from David Attenborough, and during them cleaning the dining room. This is what happened with all the others while Shrek and Stuart Hope were cleaning the dining room.
Hey Phineas.
Evening, Isabella.
What you doing?
I'm in the Pingo theme.
Great.
Well, I hear that very soon is the train tour from Inverness to Kyle of Lacouche that we're going to be going on tomorrow.
I've just come down for the Isle of Skye. I'm no very big and I'm awfully shy. All the lassies say, well, goodbye Donald, where's your trousers? Let the wind blow high, let the wind blow low, through the streets of my kilt I'll go. All the lassies say, hello Donald, where's your trousers? A lassie took me to a hee-haw and it was slippery in the haw, and I was feared I would fall for hitting me on my trousers.
You're crazy, you know that? Yeah, I managed to do these dances without a hitch.
That's what you think so far, but you may be likely to fall and trip when doing one of these one day.
Ah, never. I've never heard such rubbish before.
He's gonna knock himself to bits if he keeps that up.
Get those trousers up, Flick. Nobody wants to see your bum shining in the sun. Now that we've filled our holes and gotten that out of the way, have yous ever heard this story? Well, if you don't know what this story is about, or at least if I don't give any hint then, here it is. This was a story that my old mate Fireman Sam told me back in 1975. 6, 7, could have been any one of those 3 years, but I guess it might have been 76.
1976, aka the year when the Copyright Fair Use Act became a thing in existence, was also the year of the second attempt of bringing Thomas the Tank Engine to TV with a 2D animated Disney-styled pilot, but was dropped because the Reverend W. Awdry thought it would make his own creation look like a laughingstock, like the first attempt did back in 1953 with a model train derailing on camera and a hand was shown on camera trying to put the model train back onto the tracks and destroying any resemblance of convincingness.
Oh, yep, I believe that is right. But now we officially have a Thomas the Tank Engine TV series filmed with real-sized trains with static faces, moving eyes, and narrated by one of the bloomin' Beatles, Ringo Bloody Starr. Pretty cool, huh? Anyway, that aside, here's the story you're about to hear.
And this was the story that Sulley had told.
A long time ago, there was a beloved king who used to rule Scotland. He had 4 princes. The youngest was always clumsy and forgetful, and doing 3-strike-styled screw-ups. The second youngest was usually a jokester, and always getting into high jinks one way or another. The second oldest was sometimes grumpy, but had a good sense of humour, and the oldest was always trying to be the centre of attention at any available opportunity. Keeping behind the scenes, side of things out of the public eye, he ended up receiving a hugely positive reputation from his kingdom's people. His people were not even aware of his inner flaws. He was always jumping the gun and screwing things up. Either it was out of maliciousness, out of lack of being educated and trained properly. His father would always tell him off for every screw up he made and got himself and at times others into. The oldest prince started to grow a sense of blood and hatred, and the more times he received the telling off or a row, or any form of criticism, it was cranked up to 11, and it changed him for the worse. His head was soon full of nothing but fire and blood and hatred, to the extent where he wanted to take the whole of Scotland down by starting a massive war that would kill millions of Scots. But one day, something happened that drove everything out of control. One day, this prince found a potion that had some fancy unknown power that turned him from a human to a bear. A huge black bear that was nothing but disastrous, and through all his years of life as a bear, he had killed thousands of innocent living beings, doing it all around the entire northern half of Scotland, going around and leaving demolished buildings and remaining blood bodies behind wherever he comes and goes. Maybe this is why most of Scotland is completely empty in terms of people living in Scotland. So, watch out. Ha 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 ha! But in all seriousness, have a good night's sleep. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Anyway, I hope we have a good enough massage zone to prevent us from getting any more scared of the Scottish prince they call a bear.
I suppose so.
But let's not waste any time worrying about that. Let's look forward to the train journey for the next 3 days.
What if it could break into this hotel, race through the corridors, smash the doors down, and eat all of us? Phineas was trying to think of ways to massage himself about it, but came up with only one solution out of the blue. Phineas would tease others about being spooked about Sulley's story just for the sake of covering up his own insecurities about it. Haha, anyone got the heebie-jeebies after hearing about this bear? 'Cause if anything, part of me feels that just stressing till the end of time over this sort of blabberish is just not worth it.
It's a true story. My old mate Fireman Sam told me all about it.
But hang on a minute. If Fireman Sam is Welsh and the story you tell us yesterday is Scottish, then how did he at all catch any information about it?
Well, actually, when I was up in the Highlands in Banffordshire in 1974, I think, I read a book about it, and then I told another Scottish guy, I think his name was Crazy Scotsman. I told him about this story, and he might have told more and more people about it till they got to South Wales, where that story would have affected Fireman Sam. And then at some point when Sulley and he were pals, Sam must have told Sulley the whole story. And Sulley told all us that story last night. He must have kept it all in his head till last night, or maybe ever Fireman Sam read a book on it himself or something. I dinna ken. I really dinna ken.
Ooh, watch out for the ghosts. Watch out for the hands of the seaweed monster. Careful the seaweed monster doesn't get you. Okay, I'll shut up. Maybe Sulley's story has gone into your head. Slowly the diesel engine starts up and pulls out of Inverness. This journey goes from Inverness to Kyle of Lacalge, a trip of around 80 miles or 130 kilometres. Our journey leaves for Kyle of Lacalsh in the west. The trip takes about 2 hours and 40 minutes. Hey, Phineas, I'm expected to believe that silly story of the Scottish bear has got into your head and it's got glued in. What are you talking about? I know exactly what I'm talking about. After Sulley had finished telling that story last night, and when I left yours and Buzz's room, I could see the spooked look on your face, because you have a theory that this supposed bear could suddenly break into the hotel, rush through the corridors, break the doors down and eat you. What if it actually does do some tomkite like that? Well, by that logic, it might break the entire hotel down with its bare hands, and I might as well have the same amount of heebie-jeebies that you have. And I have to assume that maybe very much everyone else does too. But it could be literally anywhere in Scotland, or even in England, or Wales. Maybe it's in Wales right now, and in Pontypandy and eating fireman Sam up. Or maybe it's in East Lothian right now, eating our own fire service. We would have the same amount of ridiculousness we had before we had the tykes to put all our fires out, as we had to call fireman Sam and his dudes to put all our fires out. A Welsh fire service. That all started when Boris Johnson became our Prime Minister and took our own fire service away from us for no reason other than, in my mind, just for the sake of being a tomkite post. Yep, in all the darkness on how you'd feel, there's a snippet of humour hidden somewhere in the dark, because this bear may be somewhere, but I'd say it's best not wasting time on it. Yes, for now just enjoy the train journey.
At this point onwards of the journey, the people start becoming full-on Scottish, and no like Shrek Scottish, which is Scottish with a semi-English twang. This is where people start talking Gaelic, where people will sound like they're really drunk.
Are you alright, mate?
How did that talk with David Attenborough go last night, Shrek?
It went wisely. Me and Stuart are at least hoping not to get into any more fights.
Fortunate.
We arrive in Kyle of Lacalsh. The reason for our stopover is the small model trains. They're in a small museum, double O gauge, put here on display to showcase. Some of these models can't move and they don't work anymore. The ones that run smoothly are the Flying Scotsman model and the GWR pannier tank without the enclosed cab. The Thomas model does move a bit, but not very smoothly, and very jittery. There are some models in these cabinets side to side on display too. Look, Marty, it's my old mate Thomas again. Those were the days, my friend. I thought it'd never end. Yeah, 'cause it rhymes. Reminds me of my days with Noddy on that tiny Irish island located between Bantry and Bear Island, hidden from the Atlantic Ocean. An explanation for these models being put on display here is because there had been a few breakdowns where some of these models break down and it seems like they cannot be fixed. So they're put here for aesthetics. Flick? Huh? Where's Donald? Donald who? He's looking for his trousers. Oh,
I've just come down for the Isle of Skye. I'm no very big and I'm awfully shy. All the lasses say, well, goodbye, Donald, where's your trousers? Diddly-dee-dee, 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 Donald, where's your trousers?
Ha 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 ha. And speaking of Donald, you doing the dance is just like when Bojo, and one day he might meet Donald Trump, who is just as much of a bumbling buffoon as Boris Johnson is. Yeah. In fact, when Boris Johnson did that dance and another 10, it gave BBC News a copyright strike. If BBC News got a copyright strike for Bojo doing something like the Thomas the Tank Engine theme, then I think it's a miracle he didn't do something more iconic like the Super Mario Bros. Theme or the Star Wars theme, because there could have been even further potential risks of even worse stuff happening. What are you doing looking so down in the dumps, Phineas? Do you seriously think the big black bear is in the water heading toward you to eat you up? Or do you fear that the Loch Ness Monster is in there when it's actually a friendly monster? What? No. Why would I be so heebie-jeebified over anything so ridiculous and time-wasting to worry about as a bear story? I know, I was only teasing. Oh, well, you sure got me there.
Oh! Wah! The black bear is after me!
Who's that screaming?
He's after me!
Phineas? Phineas, what's going on? I hope the black bear is gone out here for good. Wait, what? The black bear was in here chasing you around the hotel? Yes. I couldn't hear any roaring. All I could hear was you running around the corridor and screaming like it was going to make your eyes pop out. Maybe you were just envisioning it was there, all because it has gotten so glued into your mind that you can't try and unglue it by the slightest margin. Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe I was just seeing things that weren't actually there. I'd say it's best you just get back to bed and forget about it completely.
What were
Isabella,
you doing sneaking off like
what
that,
are you doing
Phineas?
out of bed?
The journey today goes from Aviemore to Granton-on-Spey, which sadly got cancelled for unknown reasons, which single-fished everyone off.
Sorry for the inconvenience, people, but the train journey from Aviemore to Granton-on-Spey is unfortunately cancelled due to lack of staff and operators.
Let's hope this will be only a one-time thing.
Well, there's no promise about that.
Part of me feels like the Aviemore train journey is cancelled due to landslides too.
Well, here's a bus stop here actually, I can just let you off if you want. But I'll get you.
Where's the McDouglas? Oh, there it is.
You would think that the reason they didn't call it anything like McDonald's or something was because it would have given us only 9 nuggets and not 10, and 9 out of 10 would seem a bit on the incomplete side.
Even Shrek acknowledged that in his comedy. Right, where you no wearing your kilts? Listen here, you wee bizzum. Wait, where am I talking at? That's both Scottish and a wee bizzum. Which of you four are, well, you are Scottish? Oh, I ken where I'm talking to.
How's it going, my son?
You alright, mate? I saw you on the television. You're a comedian for what I like to think.
Look, I don't know, it was sort of a run with a mill, then trial and error, but now it became a major success.
Aye, I had the same sort of trope. I've just come down for the Irish guy, I'm no very big and I'm offish, right? All the lasses say, we're good McDonald, where's your trousers? Donald, where's your trousers? And speaking of Donald, where's your trousers, and how you acknowledged why it's McDouglas and no McDonald's. How it was originally going to be McDonald's, but they went, screw that, let's just call it McDouglas instead, because Donny is 9 and Doogie is 10, and 9 seemed a bit abrupt and incomplete, and 10 seemed substantial enough as it is. Have you got that, you fickle Tom Kiters? Oh, man. What I was going to say was, speaking of that, you ken that this Monday the 25th is Burns night, so bring your kilt, haggis and bagpipes if you want to come into the pub, because if I see you coming in the pub with no kilt, haggis or bagpipes, then you're no coming in. Oh, man. Anyway, what are you up to today?
Well, in fact, today we were going to go on this train journey from Aviemore to Granton-on-Spey, but it was then put on the cutting room floor due to, from what I have to presume, is the lack of volunteers to operate those railway lines, and also due to landslides.
And hopefully that's only a thing for today. Hopefully the landslides are only affecting the eastern side of Scotland.
Too right. If tomorrow's train journey from Fort William to Mallow gets cancelled, I am gonna go mad, oh mad. I am not gonna be happy.
Well, we can only hope for the best.
Hey, you, Flick. I remember you for a few years ago. You and some yellow wee moose helped your toon with a Wi-Fi incident. Burnt Ireland, I hear. Yes, Mr. Scott, that is correct. I think my fame seems to come from that. Then, Flick, you wouldn't mind, come here. What? Listen here, you want to see me take a rampage, do you? Well, sorry to burst your bubble, but I only do that when I'm angry. You do want to see me angry, do you?
Go and take it after.
Oh, no, I'm all burnt out. Come back and see me another day.
But I want to see you going crazy, as it's in your name.
Yeah. Do you seriously want to see me go daft? Because I really mean it. Right! Who's came into my pub with no kilt, haggis or bagpipes? Where is it? Listen here, you wee bizzum. You're no getting let off with this. I'm no letting this slide. That's made your day, has it? Of course.
And also seems to still be a bit shaken up after hearing that story of mine.
Story? What story?
About the Scottish black bear.
Aye, I ken that there's such a thing as a selfish prince that turned himself into a bear and went all round the country killing folk. So that's why I think that it's wise for yous lot to shelter away for this bear before it gobbles yous all up. I hear it's the most dangerous thing on Scotland, and maybe even the whole of the UK to an extent. So, watch it.
Let's hope this journey between Fort William and Mallaig is absolutely happening. If it's cancelled, then you can kiss all nice people on earth goodbye. Fort William is known as the home of the UK's highest mountain, Ben Nevis, at an altitude of 1,344 metres. That's where it gets so much attention and praise from visitors. 1.344 kilometres. It does get many amazed, though it's not enough to be a mile. And now at the railway, the locomotive is yet to arrive at Fort William.
It's coming.
And then the moment arrives that they've all been waiting for. The arrival of the locomotive, a Black 5 45025. The locomotive was built in 1934 and originated in Newtown Les Willows. Before it can start its journey, the locomotive's firebox has to be lit up and for steam to build. The Black 5 begins its journey west towards Mallaig, a journey of 64 kilometres or about 40 miles through the Highlands and across the Glenfinnian Monument. We travel westward. The train is heading for the world famous Glenfinnian Viaduct. The viaduct has 21 arches to hold it up.
Well, this has been worthwhile.
The train reaches Morar, home to the deepest lake of Scotland. They say that here is hiding a relative of the Loch Ness monsters. After a journey of 1 hour and 24 minutes, the train arrives at Mallaig. We go out to visit the small town of Mallaig. The Black 5 goes on its way back to Fort William. That black 5 looks a bit like Henry, actually. Just look at the beautiful colours of the water. Yeah, anyone would think that this black bear from Sulley's story is probably swimming in there and is approaching land. Ha! Don't make me laugh.
I'm telling you, it's a true story. It could be just about anywhere.
And anyone would think that the black bear is hidden somewhere around any of this landscape. Well, once again, it could be literally anywhere. Or maybe it's already deceased. Hey Phineas. Hey Isabella. What you doing? Just chilling. What you thinking about? Have you ever wondered what's the superpower of all us existing? What I mean by that is, have you ever questioned your own existence? What year did we start existing? How long will we live on for? Stuff like this. Now that you mention it, I'm actually starting to question all this. And since you mentioned the whole time thing into this conversation, what were your earliest memories, Phineas? My earliest memories was of me and Ferb on the Isle of Man meeting Bill and Ben, the flowerpot men, not the SCC tanks. But it actually kinda goes a bit further than that. But I think I may have to try and dig a bit deeper for anything coming before me and Ferb approach Isle of Man. I wonder what's up with Rebel.
Oh! Ah!
Oh well. Why is it called Burns Night exactly? I have to assume it's named after Robert Burns, or Robbie Burns as others call him, who I believe was a Scottish poet and lyricist who must have done something significant on the 25th of January on one of his years in career. So...
Oh, the lassie says goodbye, Donald, where's your trousers?
Ow.
Well, well, well. I said nobody wanted to see your baruki shining in the sun. And I am now saying nobody wants to see your baruki shining in the moonlight.
I told you so, that you would trip up and now look where you are.
But what about the bear? Nobody knows for sure. It could be literally anywhere around the country and its neighbours. Throughout its lifetime, it has caused immeasurable amounts of death, destruction, and devastation. Nobody has been able to catch it. It was seemingly too brainful to lay a nail into the human eye. Some say that it's perished. Or is it? Next time on Teammates of Britain, we return to Trinent, and Butters is given a chance to fit in, so he ends up going on a comfy little guy-like adventure on Easter. Tune in then.